Okay, now we're going to talk about the product and quotient to a power rule. So product is like saying, hey, if you multiply two things and then raise that to a power, what can you do with that? And this is, hey, if you're dividing two things, so like this one's a times b, this one's like a divided by b, and raise that thing to a power, how can you deal with those situations? So here's the product to the power rule. Say we have x times y to the n power. Well, that's the same thing as x to the n power times y to the n power. Okay, so if I take that idea and I apply it over here for this 2 times 3 to the second power, this is the same thing as 2 to the second power times 3 to the second power, which is the same thing as 4 times 9, which is the same thing as 36. Okay. Now some of you maybe were saying, well, why didn't it on this one? Why don't you just do 2 times 3, which is 6, and then square that? And I agree with you. Why I would totally do that, but I just using this as an example. Maybe this would be an x and this is a 2 or something like that. This is an example to give you an idea of why this works. Okay. The same thing can hold true with the quotients or the division. If you have a over b all raised to the n power, that's the same thing as a to the n power over b to the n power. Okay, and so if I take this and I apply it over here, what I would get is I would get 3 to the 4 power over 5 to the 4th power. And 3 to the 4th power, we all know that's some big number. Who knows what it is? And we all know 5 to the 4th power is another big number. So if we had our calculators, we could figure that out. 3 to the 3rd power, I know is 27. So what's 27 times 3 again? That's 60, 60 plus another 21, 81. This is 81 right here. 5 to the 4th power, I know 5 times 5 is 25, and 5 times 5 again is 25. So I have 25 times 25. 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. So 125 times 5 would be 500, 625. Hopefully I did that right in my head, but there's my final solution to this one. So that's how you handle the product and the quotient to a power rule.